But my whole life from doing this, all these like businesses and work, I've just been like always eating breakfast, right? I always ate cereals, and then I sort of like went on to eating like sandwiches from Greg's and stuff. Every morning it was just such a habit and a routine just to eat breakfast. It's such a normal thing that we're all sort of brought up to do. And I was like running on like 50% brain power that whole time. Like no wonder I couldn't get the work done. Back when I was first starting out on YouTube, I was trying to make YouTube videos in the morning. I would always like wake up, I'd go for a piss, I'd go brush my teeth, I'd go for a morning walk, get a coffee from Greg's, but I'd also get a sandwich from Greg's as well. I'd get a bacon and sausage sandwich with red sauce and all this stuff, and then I'd walk back home and I'd be eating that sandwich, and then I would sit in the chair and I'd try and start recording some YouTube videos. And I noticed that I would find it super difficult to come up with ideas and concepts and to think back to my own experiences and the research that I'd done and the videos I'd watched to try and come up with ideas to teach to you guys. And the reason that I was struggling so much to come up with ideas is I'm pretty convinced it was because I was just eating food as soon as I wake up. And recently I have changed up my strategy completely, where I have been fasting in the morning right up until around like 1 or 2 o'clock. Like right now it's 1 o'clock now, and I've not eaten any food today. All I've had is black coffee, water, and some of these like nicotine pouches, right? So fasting is hugely helped me to be more productive, because I've been able to film videos in the morning and to film like 2, 3, 4 videos and then edit them in the afternoon. Because for me, editing, I don't really need to be like super focused or anything, because I've changed up my strategy to where I am not really putting much effort into editing my videos anymore. I just would rather just get the advice and the value across to you. So I'm going to make this quick video today to just basically give you some advice and to try and give you a bit of motivation into why I think you should start fasting. And this advice is really only going to be applicable to you if you're like working on some business, or you're trying to be productive with something. Maybe it's like your studies for like university or your schoolwork or something. And I really think fasting is going to be super beneficial to you. So the first bit of advice I would give you is when you wake up, fucking hell, can you hear that outside? It's like some guy fucking sawing a tree down or something. God's sake. Whatever. Right, anyway, as soon as you wake up and you decide to start fasting, I would definitely recommend you just drink black coffee and water. So you want to wake up, hydrate yourself with water, right? Put a little bit of salt in the water. This is like something I've started doing. It's kind of like difficult to do at first because it tastes like so disgusting. But literally just get a glass of water, put like a little bit of salt in it and just drink it, right? It's going to taste grim, but it's just going to help. You need like sodium essentially, like that's like a part of your electrolytes. And if you're not eating any food, you're not going to get salt from anything. And it's like quite important to have salt in the brain for it to function properly. So literally just wake up, salt and water, and then it's just black coffees after that, right? So I've had like 2 black coffees today. And usually I'll get my first black coffee when I go for a walk to my local Greg's. I'll get a black coffee from there, and then I'll just make a second one at home as well. So it's usually 2 black coffees in the morning. Another bit of advice I'll give you in terms of like caffeine is don't have caffeine within the first 90 minutes after waking up. And this is a bit of advice that I actually heard from, I think it was Chris Williamson on Modern Wisdom on his podcast. And basically the caffeine that you drink acts on your adrenals, I think, your adrenal system. But that isn't really it acts on adenosine, right? That's right. So it acts on your adenosine system, which isn't active for like the first roughly like 90 minutes after waking up. It only acts on that like after 90 minutes essentially. So if you wake up and you just straight away go downstairs and you just make a coffee and drink it, like, and you've only been awake for like 20 minutes, that caffeine is like literally going to have no impact on you. It's not going to make you more energetic or alert or anything. So you need to wait at least 90 minutes before having your first coffee in the morning. So that's the first bit of advice I'll give you in terms of like when to drink your caffeine, right? So we've got that out of the way. So yeah, just black coffees in the morning. Obviously you can't have like coffee with milk or anything. I mean, if you don't like coffee, whatever, then I don't know, man, you could have like a tea, like a black tea or something. Just don't have milk in it, because milk's obviously got calories in it, and that's going to have glucose in it, and then you're not in a fasted state anymore. And the whole point of this is we're fasting, right? So you have to have like black coffee or something. And then I'm going to get guys like talking about energy drinks and stuff, right? I see so many people who drink energy drinks, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about with energy drinks, right? One, it's not calorie free, and even if it's sugar free, it's got all sorts of other fucking chemicals in it. It's just terrible. And I honestly think energy drinks are really bad. Like the guys I know who drink a lot of energy drinks in the morning, tend to be a very specific kind of person. Do you know what I mean? And it stinks. Their breath stinks, and it's just grim. Like, it's just a bit grim. I just feel like, yeah, just drink black coffee. And if you don't like black coffee, then just learn to like black coffee, man. Just drink it. It's going to help you with the caffeine. It's going to help you stay more alert. And the good thing about black coffee is it actually is a like a natural way to make you less hungry. So like, it's satiating even though it has no calories in it, and it's because it has something called GLP-1 in it. I think that stands for glucagon-like peptide, I think, and that is similar to like glucose, but it's not actually got any calorific kind of content to it, so it can make you essentially feel like you have eaten food when you haven't. So it actually suppresses your hunger a little bit. So I'll notice in the morning, once I've been awake for like a couple hours, I'll start to feel really hungry, but once I have the black coffees and have like maybe one or two of them, and you can get over that first kind of hill of hunger, it just like, you feel much better afterwards. The second tip I'll give you is if you are like a vapor or anything, obviously stop vaping, right? Stop smoking, stop vaping. It's terrible for you, and use these nicotine pouches instead. Like, you can get them from like any supermarket pretty much. I used to smoke all the time. I used to be addicted to like smoking cigarettes, and then I was addicted to vaping, and I've started going on to these nicotine pouches that I've been using for like a year now, and obviously that makes my lungs better. I'm not like wheezing anymore on a night and stuff, so that's like way healthier for you. It's not exactly healthy because it's still nicotine, and I'm not by any means telling anyone to use nicotine, but nicotine actually combined with the black coffee is like another way of suppressing your appetite, and it just helps you be focused and sharp and not be thinking about food and stuff. But you know, don't get onto nicotine if you're not already on nicotine. That's like fine. Like, you can just use black coffee. This is by no means me telling anyone to do that. But if you do like vape and stuff, then transition to these little pouches that you can get, right? It's like the same price as like a disposable vape. So that's the second sort of tip I'd give you in terms of stuff you can use, right? So black coffee and nicotine. And then the last bit of advice I'll give you is, if you're feeling super hungry on a morning when you're fasting, just know that once you actually get over that, like, if you can just plow through that hunger, and you'll kind of feel a bit sick. Like, when I'm hungry in the morning, I sometimes feel like I'm actually a bit sick, like unwell, like I could throw up. But once you get past that, it might be like 20-30 minutes of that sensation. Your body will kind of, your circadian rhythm and your clock of when your body is expecting food will kind of forget about the fact it's breakfast and it's breakfast time. And then when it goes to like 11, 12 o'clock, you'll just start to sort of feel less hungry. It's weird because if you get past that first like set of hunger when you're fasting, you can basically like have this weird sensation afterwards, after you've got over the hunger, where you feel like really good almost. It's weird. It's like you get past the sick feeling and then you actually feel like you've almost eaten like food. It's weird, like, and your body just forgets that it's hungry, and you can basically just focus and concentrate. So why do we need to fast on the morning? Why does that help my productivity? Well, when you eat food first thing in the morning, you spike your insulin, and especially if you're eating carbs, it just makes your brain slow, right? If your insulin goes up, your body goes into like this state of like rest and digest. You might have heard of that. I think it's the sympathetic system, or like the parasympathetic system, one or the other, where your body gets put into the state of like rest and digest, where if you've eaten food, your body is essentially not going to concentrate on work. You're not going to be focused. Your brain power will be at like 50% of its potential. So if you've got a business, if you've got like a YouTube channel, or you try to study and you try to do something important, and you're running on like 50% efficiency, like my whole life, literally, like when I've run all these different businesses, right? Drop shipping. I used to do print on demand and drop shipping, and then I started this YouTube channel. But my whole life from doing this, all these like businesses and work, I've just been like always eating breakfast, right? I always ate cereals, and then I sort of like went on to eating like sandwiches from Greg's and stuff. Every morning it was just such a habit and a routine just to eat breakfast. It's such a normal thing that we're all sort of brought up to do. And I was like running on like 50% brain power that whole time. Like, no wonder I couldn't get the work done. And recently, in the past couple of weeks, I've just been fasting on the morning, literally no food until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's meant that when I'm recording videos like this and I'm doing all my work, I can just be so much more focused. I can be so much more motivated to do it, because I'm not like trying to digest food and my brain isn't thinking. Because once you've eaten food, right, and you've had a meal like breakfast, your body's kind of like, oh, sick, like we're done for the day, right? This was the main job of the day, was to just make sure we still survive and eat food. So like your brain's like, great, we're done, we can just relax now, right? So if you can kind of set this like as a good habit to just fast every morning, it's going to be super beneficial to your productivity. And then also if you're fasting as well, it's going to be super helpful for weight loss. Like you might be watching this and you might be a little bit tubby around the edges, and you might be thinking about going on a cut or something. And yeah, fasting is just a great way to easily get into a calorie deficit, because you can just eat a fuck ton of food at lunch and dinner time, like for your first and second meal of the day, like at 2 o'clock and then like 7 o'clock or whatever. Your first and second meal, you can eat a fuck ton of food. And because you haven't eaten anything for breakfast, you'll probably still be in a calorie deficit. So you can like eat a lot of food and still be in a calorie deficit whilst being more productive in the morning. So it's just like a win-win-win-win. And there's a bunch of other benefits to fasting as well. It just helps like clear out your system. It starts up something called autophagy. And when your body is like fully fasted and you don't have any intramuscular glucose or anything like that, and your body's fully fasted, it's going to start breaking down fat cells. It's going to start breaking down the mitochondria in your cells, which is all helps to keep your cells healthy and keep your body healthy. So there's a bunch of benefits to fasting. So yeah, that is basically the advice I can give you in terms of fasting. I've done a bunch of research on it, and yeah, it's been great for me. So definitely try it. If you want to be more productive in the morning, then just try it, man. It should help you. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching the video, bro. Just keep improving yourself every day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.